Somebody's asked for a lesson on a tune called Kementzopom Kelaidy, which means my Kementje is singing. I'll do the lesson as basic as possible so that an absolute beginner can hopefully learn it and play along with it. I'll do it first without any trembles so that the beginner can learn it, and then towards the end I'll add some trembles if I have time. The instrument is tuned to C, G, D today. This is a narrower instrument, and it's better for playing faster tunes. I just find that you can just manoeuvre the instrument. It sounds a bit better as well with this particular tune. So it's C, G, D, the instrument. That's C, the high pitch. The middle, that's G. And the low pitched is D. So C. I'll do a quick rundown of the tune with trembles, but I'll show it without trembles. Circles. That's the main part of the tune anyway, for the person that asked for it. There's other parts to it which I'm not going to go into. So starting with the backward bow movement, your second finger is touching the high-pitched and the middle chord, and your fourth finger is only touching the high-pitched chord. So this tune is only played on the one side. Most of it's only played on the one side, so there's no swivels in this part that I'm going to show you. Second finger, fourth finger only touching the high pitch, so it should sound like this. So backwards and forwards. Okay, so it's backward, forward, 4 times, but at the last minute you're going to lift the fourth finger, so it's... Okay, so back, forward, 4 times, but on the fourth one you're going to lift. Okay, so that's the start of it. So with this tune, make sure you're playing the two chords, the high pitched in the middle, with your bow. So angle the instrument just enough. It's only a very slight, you've got to get it just right, and it should sound like that. You don't want it to sound just the high pitched chord, you want to hear that the middle and the high pitched played equally. I'll pan out, show the bow movement of this tune. So starting backwards. Okay. There's a little bit of wrist movement here just to get the your elbow is close to your rib cage and you're swiveling from your elbow. But there's a little bit of wrist, which gives you a little bit of, it makes it sound better on the transition, going back and forward. Okay, so that's just a little tip with the wrist. So I'll just do this one more time before moving ahead. Second finger touching the two chords, high pitched and middle. That's only touching the high pitch. Okay, and the next bit is... So it's similar. So the first bit is... The next bit starting back. Finishing forward. So backward, forward with lifting the fourth finger. And then it's starting backwards, you're going to drop the fourth finger. Now this is a slur, meaning halfway through the backward bow movement here, you're going to lift the fourth, and you're going to hear the second finger. That's a slur. So as I'm going back, halfway through, I'm lifting the fourth, and you can continue on, and you can hear that. So what I mean is, sorry, I'll just pan out. So, okay, that last bit, or that bit there that I mentioned, you're going to lift the fourth and drop the first. So, finishing forward. So that is it's called a slur. I do have a video on how to do slurs. I'll leave it in the description. So starting from the start again, that's finishing forward, and the next bit is starting. I find it's easier to leave the second finger down. Actually, no, lifting it. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. I find that when you put the fourth down, your second finger almost instinctively comes up. So, see how you go. I find that's how I do it. I find it's hard to keep that down when that goes down. I think just the way the fingers are just the way it is, I suppose, with your fingers. And then it's dropping the first finger, touching the high pitched and middle. So it's from the start. Next bit. Finishing forward. So all of these, the first and the second part, you're starting back, finishing forward, starting back on the second bit, finishing forward. And you do this twice, I think. Okay, so finishing forward. The next bit, you're finishing forward. That's forward, and then when you're coming back, you're going to come forward without any fingers. Halfway through, you're going to drop the first finger, and then forward, you're going to drop the second finger touching the two. These are both touching the same two high-pitched and middle chords. Okay, and forward, you're going to use the second finger. Now, if you listen to the tune, I'll leave a link in the description. The players usually play it quite a forceful. Okay, when you're coming back, just add just a little bit more oomph. I mean, you don't have to overdo it, but that's just the way it sounds on the video anyway. Okay, so it's up backwards, and I'll come out and show the bow. So you're doing, that's the no fingers, halfway through drop the first finger. It's one bow movement. And then coming forward, you're dropping the second finger. So it's now the next bit is, so it's dropping it again. So you're playing that one twice, I think, backward and forward. Dropping the first, so you're ending forward again. So starting back. So that's that bit, and you end it with so it's that's the bit we've done, and then starting backwards. So it's backward and forward, the second finger, lifting the second, dropping the first, backward and forward, and then it's, I think that's another slur, so it's another slur, so that's one bow movement, and then finishing backward forward with no fingers. So again, I'll show you the bow movements. The next bit. That's the slur, second finger, lifting the second, dropping the first, and finishing forward. And that's it, that's the whole tune, or this part anyway. I'll go through it one more time, and then I'll add some trembles. So, starting from the start. If you want to add just a little bit of colour to it, you can do that. Instead of, you can do so on the backward bow movement, you're going to lift your fingers, and you can tremble the fourth at the end. Whoops. I'll pan out. So if you want to add this to the, once you get the first part right, so don't do this, I suggest you get the basics right before moving on. Okay, so tremble the fourth. Okay, so you can do that. What else can you do? You can jump on the first. Okay. Now instead of doing you can go anyway, you can just do a few little things to add colour to it. I think that'll be it. As for the lesson, I hope you enjoyed it, and please leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment. If you got any songs that you'd like me to do for you, just leave a comment, and I'll hopefully I can do it. Thank you.